Welcome back to the channel. My name is CJam, and today we're going to be designing a Super Bowl theme poster or wallpaper. Now, first things first, to design with me, you're going to need your own copy of Photoshop, and you can get that using the first link below in this video's description, whether you want to try it free for 7 days or just go ahead and subscribe. Also, a portion of this video is sponsored by Envato, and we're going to be talking about them as we go on in the video. So let's continue. So here we are inside of Adobe Photoshop, and the first thing you want to do to create your graphic is you want to go ahead and click this new file button, right? And you want to go ahead and input the width and height of the graphic you want to create and any other settings such as resolution and the background color that you want to adjust to your liking. Now, these are my measurements right here: 2000 pixels wide by 2400 pixels high. That's about 4:5 in aspect ratio. That's more of a portrait poster versus landscape. So let's just go ahead and click create. So here I have my blank canvas, and the Super Bowl poster that I want to create today is of Jalen Hurts, because you know Jalen Hurts is the MVP. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. Congrats to all you Eagles fans out there. And I already went ahead and just searched quickly on Google for some Jalen Hurts photos that I'm going to be using in this tutorial today. These are not my own photos, disclaimer. I'm going to put links in the description as to where you can get these photos and design along with me if you'd like, right? Now, the vision I have for this poster before we get started is pretty straightforward. I want to use maybe 1 or 2 photos of Jalen. I want to have his name in text, and I just want to have like the Eagles logo, the NFL logo, and then maybe some other text that says like Super Bowl MVP, right? Super Bowl 49 MVP, and that's pretty much it, nothing else. And maybe I'll put like a photo of the stadium in the background or something like that, right? So not a whole lot, not too complicated. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, so here are all the assets that I have that I want to use, like I just mentioned, and all I'm going to be doing is just selecting them all and just dragging them into Photoshop, right? Like so. You could also have done this by coming up to File and then coming down here to Place Embedded, and then you can navigate on your computer or Mac as to where you have your files and then just import them into your project, right? So all I'm going to be doing is just clicking this arrow or just pressing enter on my keyboard to load up all of these images, right? Like so. And I'm just going to wait until Photoshop loads all of them for me, right? Let me turn them all off. And then so here's what I was mentioning earlier. I have a couple photos of Jalen that I wanted to use, right? 1, 2, 3 photos, right? Let me just group these, Control and G to put them all in a group. Now I can turn it off, right? Turn off that group. Those photos are all gone. Then I have the NFL logo here. I have the Eagles logo here, and I really wanted this to be like much smaller on the design, but for now I'm just going to group them, selecting both of them, hit Control G, Command G if you're on Mac. I can also rename this group Eagles and NFL logo, right? So our project is organized. But before we go any further, while you're designing, while you're creating, always save your project, right? So let me go ahead and hit Control S, Command S if you're on Mac, and let me just go ahead and come into this folder and name it Jalen Super Bowl MVP poster, right? And then let me go ahead and click save. And it's going to ask us to just click OK, right? Now I can just go ahead and make these smaller because I'm just going to keep these small and never touch them again. Almost never touch them again. So let me just size these down, but first let me make the NFL logo a little bit smaller because it's a scooch bigger than the Eagles logo, right? Proportionally. So let me select the group now. What I did just now was, let me undo that, Control Z. I selected the NFL logo within this group, hit Control T, and then I just decrease the percentage here to make it smaller, like so. Then I pressed enter on my keyboard to confirm my changes. I'm repeating by doing the same thing to the group, the Eagles and the NFL logo, Control T, Command T, and I'm just gonna go ahead and size it down by clicking and dragging an edge, or I could have used the percentages like I did earlier, right? Then I'm just going to bring it up like so. Let's move the equals one over to the left. Keep the NFL one over to the right. And then let's just move it like right here. Those pink lines are just smart guides, right? And let me just go ahead and go up top to view, guides, new guide layout. This will give me guides all around my design, right? You know, like bleed lines for printing, if you're familiar with that. But with these guidelines, I'll know that I keep all my elements, my logos, my pictures, my text within those boundaries, right? Just for uniformity and symmetry, right? Okay, so I have these guys on the outside. I'm just gonna click my ruler and create another one, like 100 pixels all around. The vertical ruler, horizontal ruler. I'm just clicking and dragging with the ruler and holding shift to get precise figures. Same thing on all four sides, right? So this is 2000 pixels. I just want 100 pixels inside, 1900. 100 from 2000 is 1900. If you're not seeing your ruler here, all you have to do is hit Command R if you're on Mac, Control R if you're on Windows, right? And you will get your ruler. Let me show it to you just a moment. Control R, the ruler is gone. Control R, the ruler is back. Or you can go to View and then Rulers, just like so, right? Now, Control and S to save. Let me move the Philly logo, the Eagles logo over to the edge, NFL logo over to the edge. Control and S to save, and we're looking good, right? Now, let me turn on one of the image of Jalen. Let me name the group here. Let's name it Jalen Images, right? Control and S to save. Each time you make a change, just make it a practice to just keep saving your project, right? So let me find the first one, not this one. This is the one I want to use as like the background or main image if you want. I'm just going to go ahead and select W on my keyboard, or I could just come up here to select and then select subject, and Photoshop is going to do its best job by outlining his image for me. You may not get the perfect result, right? Like you can see right here, it's not really a smooth cut, right? I mean, obviously, if I didn't zoom in all the way, it would look smooth, but that's not how, like, according to how I used to practice Photoshop when I just started like 15 years ago. What I used to do was I used to use the lasso tool, and I used to just like manually just mark all the way around until I got like perfect cuts. Like I used to love doing that, right? But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to save you guys the time. You can do that. You can do the select subject like I just showed you. Select subject, and if you're perfectly fine with that, you can just go ahead and click your mask tool here to add a mask to that, and the background is gone. But I am not perfectly fine with that. So what I did before I started this tutorial was I went ahead and cut out a version of this image like so, and it's well, it's not a perfect cut, but it's perfect for our tutorial today. And I'll also put a link to this cutout in this video's description so you guys can download this cutout and start designing with me. Remember, this is not my image, right? I don't own this image. This is just for education purposes only. So here I have one image of Jalen. Let me find the other one. It's right here. I'm going to repeat the process, select subject, and Photoshop is going to do its best job for me. Then I can just add a mask and the background is gone. This one I may have a little bit smaller, so I'm okay with it not being like a precise cut, like about right there, right? And then what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to like write some text. Let me turn these off. Let me move this image up into the Jalen images, and it should be behind, where is it? Yeah, turn this off. Let me just write some text. Hit T on your keyboard for your type tool and just write like Jalen. Wait, text is white so you can't see it. Oh no, it's in the group of images that I turned off. All right, I'm just gonna change this font right here. I wanted a font that looked similar to the Super Bowl font where the letters are like stretched out wide. I don't know if you saw that while you were watching the Super Bowl, if you watched the Super Bowl, but I really liked that. So what I did was I went over to Envato, I searched their fonts, and I typed variable, and this is what I got, right? Remember earlier I mentioned that a portion of this video is sponsored by Envato, because Envato is my one-stop shop for awesome fonts like this one, right? So now I'm going to go back into Photoshop and change my font. And if you like what you see here on the fonts that they have to offer, they also offer stock footage, stock photos, and a host of other stuff that you can download with unlimited downloads. So if you like what you see, go ahead and check out the resource links in this video description to start leveling up your projects with Envato. So let's go back to our text right here. I'm going to come over to my character tab and find the text Motigen, right? Then I'm going to zoom in, right? I'm holding Alt on my keyboard, like Option if you're on Mac, and I'm just rolling my mouse wheel, right? And then I'm just gonna select like the A. And the cool thing about this font is if I were to go ahead and click the weight here, you can do like bold wide. That will make the A get wider, or I can do bold extra wide, right? Let me make all of it bold in the first place. That's what I should have done, like make it all like bold, right? Let's make it all bold. And then I can hit the A, and I'll maybe hit the E as well. So bold, extra wide, the E, you know, like, but wait, no, extra wide, right? Extra wide. That is so cool. Let's make the Y like, not extra wide, but maybe just like wide. What do you guys think? All right, let's keep it like that. Then I'm going to duplicate this font. Control J to duplicate any element within your project. I'm just going to move it down like so. And let me just write Hertz, because obviously his last name is Hertz. Let's hit the U for sure. We're definitely hitting the U. Bold, extra wide. And this tab over here that I'm working in, that's making my life so much easier, is my properties tab. And if you're using Photoshop and you don't have this tab here, all you have to do is come to Window and then properties. When you get it, it's gonna normally be like floating around like so. When you turn it on for the first time, all you have to do is just click and drag it anywhere on your window. I want it above the libraries here, and that's how you get your properties tab, right? Now let me hit the T. Let's do extra wide, right? That is pretty cool. What about the R? Should I make the R like, or the S like wide or extra wide? Maybe just wide, because I want them to like have the same width. I mean, that's cool. It works. I'm just gonna make sure that they're all like centered, because this line here, this blue line in the middle, is the center of my document. So let me hit Control T, Command T if you're on Mac. And that pink line, my smart guide is telling me that those text fonts are aligned down the middle, right? So that's cool. Let me go ahead and write, what else did I say? Super Bowl MVP. Super Bowl LIX MVP. Let's change this to like Gotham or something different from the Motigen, right? And then let's make it like, just size it all the way down, like something really, really small, right? And then wait, let's make the Jalen Hertz bigger. We're gonna organize all these items here. I promise we're gonna organize it. I promise, right? And then now I can make the MVP text. Just bring it down some. Let's hit the tracking, spread it out some more. Yeah, and then let's bring it over, right? Like so. You see that 17 pixels on the top, on the bottom with those pink arrows? That's telling me that the space between Jalen and Hertz and the space between Hertz and Super Bowl is the same exact amount of space, right? I'm just going to duplicate this again. Remember earlier I said Control and J to duplicate any element. Same thing, rinse and repeat, drag it down. There we have our 17 again. Right, same thing, Control and J to duplicate. There we have our 17 again. I'll change these colors in a little bit. I want like, I know I want the date. Like, Super Bowl was on February 9th, right? So let me put New Orleans first. I want to have the location and the date. I hope I'm spelling this right. All right, let me change the font from Gotham to like Netflix Sans, right? Sans. Regular. Yeah, medium. Let me make it like tiny small though, like 6, right? That's what I want. And then I'm just gonna align it to my project. Hit Control A to get this selection all around, and hit V and just align it like so. Control and D to deselect that selection. Those like moving lines. These use moving lines here. Control and D to turn them off. Because what I did with Control and A, that was a selection. I selected my entire project so I can align any element I have highlighted over here in my layers to the project if I wanted to align it like in the middle, dead center, or you know, vertically, or to an edge or top or bottom. I can do that by like selecting the entire project area, right? So I'm gonna duplicate the New Orleans, Louisiana, and then Control J. Wait, I have to deselect this first. Control J now, and then I can move it up to the top, right? So like about the same amount of space. We can fine tune the space later on, but I wanted to say here, February 9th, that's when it was, right? February 9th, 2025, right? Or we can put New Orleans at top, the date on the bottom. It doesn't matter, we can fine tune it later on, right? So now let me hit Control and S to save, always save. And then before I turn on the images of Jalen, let me just make a background. Like, let's do like a gray, or maybe a gradient, like a gray going to white, you know. That, well, not that, but let's come down here to the gradient list, choose grays and see what Photoshop has for us. That looks cool, that first one there. Let's do radial. So right now it's a linear gradient, right? It's a linear gradient at 90 degrees, so it's like straight. Let's do radial, you know, circle, right? So you can see the circle, the dark area is in the middle, the light area is on the outside, but I want to invert that, you know, like, so let's go ahead and just hit reverse right here. You can see we got the light area inside, the dark area outside, right? That's looking cool. How about there is good, right? Control and S to save all that we've been doing so far. Now I can go ahead and turn on the images that I have of Jalen, but first let me group all these texts right here. Control G, as we've been doing all tutorial. Let me double click on it to rename it. Let's name it text. Like so, when I turn this layer off, all the text disappears, right? Which is what we want, so that's cool. All right, then we have the Jalen images right here. Let me turn back on the text so I can see where it falls. Like it should fall just like right above it. Let's make the text a little bigger, but let's do it later. Let me just like adjust these images on top of the text. So I want this main background one to be like somewhere here. Let me just hit Control and T. When I hit Control and T and hover over any one of these corner points here, I'm getting that little curved arrow that's telling me that I can rotate my image. I can also rotate it up here with this degree symbol. I just want to rotate it ever so slightly. So like, just so the seam of the ball right here, the stitches, is like upright, right? And then that's looking pretty cool. So I want that to be right there. I want to like erase his legs though. I don't want them to come too far down underneath his name. So let me find the layer here, add a mask by clicking the mask button here, hit my eraser tool by pressing E, make sure my eraser's hardness is down to 2%. By default, it's going to be at 100%. When you have it all the way down to like 2%, you can brush away ever so softly, right? So it like blends out. So like so, see that? It's not a hard erase, right? So I want something like that, right? And then I want to move, well, I don't want this second image to be that big. So let me find the second image here and hit Control T, Command T for on Mac, size it down a little bit like so. And let's do the same thing. I'm just gonna brush the hard edge away, this sharp edge right there. Let me turn off the text. See that right there? Wait, no, sorry. Turn out the text. See that sharp edge? I just want to blend that out a little bit. Let me size down my eraser by going to size, or I can use my left and right square brackets on my keyboard, right? Oh yeah, that's looking better. Now I can turn back on the text. See that? Let's just delete this little area right here on the bigger image. See this little under thigh area right here? Let's just delete that, yeah. All right, cool. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. For this image right here, wait, Control S to save. Always save your project, right? Let me save that, and then I want to add like a little effect to this image right here. So let me find it. Let me hit Control Shift and A for my camera raw filter, right? And then right here, I can come over to presets, right? I can use some of Photoshop's built-in presets or this teal and orange preset that I got from Envato. I totally forgot I got this from Envato. Shout out to Envato for hot presets like this one. And I'm just going to use the teal and orange artistic. All I have to do is click it, and then I can adjust as I see fit, right? Let me bring back down some of the shadows, hit some of the contrast a little bit more, right? Let me add some grain to it, just a little bit, like not too much, right? Let me take off some of the saturation. Ooh. Or maybe let me come down to color mixer right here. Let me turn down the saturation of the orange and the red, you know, all those skin tone colors, orange, red, yellows. Let me turn all of those off, right? Hit OK and see what we got. That's looking pretty cool. That is looking pretty cool. And then for this second image right now, I want to do the same thing, but I want to keep the skin tones. So we're going to Control and S to save all that we've been doing so far. Then we're hitting the camera raw filter once more on this second image. Control Shift and A. But before I do that, notice my image is highlighted here and not the mask, right? If I were to hit the camera raw filter on the mask instead of the image, you'll just get this little thing right here and nothing will happen, right? It will look weird, obviously. So let me cancel all changes, make sure my image is selected over here and not the mask, then Control Shift and A. We're going to go back to presets because we know the preset that we use, right? We come over here to presets, we use the teal and orange artistic, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and edit it, lift some more of the shadows, right? Let's make it a little bit less. Let me just add some green. You can explore all of these controls over here and see what results you get. Obviously, if you hit the exposure, you'll see what's gonna happen. If you hit the contrast, you'll see what's gonna happen, right? Let me just bring the saturation down a little bit. All right, click OK and see what we got. That is perfect if you ask me, right? That is perfect. Like we're actually getting somewhere. We're actually getting somewhere. What I want to do next is I want to just go ahead and maybe add a little bit more grain to this image right here. Because of the camera raw filter that we've been using, all we have to do is just come here and double click it. We can turn it off to see our before and after. I'm just going to double click on it to go back in and make some changes. And I just want to add some more grain, right? About there is good, right? That's pretty good right there. And we're getting somewhere. I probably want to make these images a little bit bigger, right? Let me select both of them. Control T for my transform options, and I can just increase my percentage up here or pull one of the corners here, right? Like so. And then I'm getting somewhere. Right? No, we're looking good. Let me add some green to this gray background. So let's locate our background or gradient background. And to add some green, I want to go ahead and hit Control Shift and A. And you see it's telling me the fill for this layer must be rasterized or converted to a smart object. Right? And smart objects are your friends in Photoshop. So let's go ahead and click convert to smart object. That way, when we hit the camera raw filter to add the grain, I can always go back and make changes or turn it off, right? Just like the images we have here, those are all smart objects, right? So we have our background here. All I want to do is just add some green like so. You can actually see the green being added, right? See, this is what it was before. this is what it is after we've added the green. Let me see if I can turn the exposure up, so like so. Yeah. All right, no, we're looking good. No, we're getting somewhere, right? We're getting somewhere. There's a photo I downloaded also of the stadium that the Super Bowl final was played in, the Caesar Superdome. I just want to go ahead and turn that on right now. Oops, wrong image. Where is it? I didn't bring it in. Oh, here it is. And I just want to go ahead and like bring it behind the Jalen images, like so. Obviously it's too dominant right now, so let me just go ahead and turn the saturation down. But before I do that, let me add a mask to my layer, hit my eraser tool, size it up using my left and right square brackets, right? And you notice that the mask that I added, and as I'm about to erase, I have the mask side of the layer selected and not the image, because if I had the image, the eraser won't even work. You see that little icon there, that's like, right? And then let me go back to the mask and just brush away these edges, the sharp edges of the image, right? That's all I'm doing, just gently brushing away the sharp edges of the image so I can still see the dome, right? Let me move it down some. To about there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come to my blending mode here. Let me come all the way down and just see what results we're getting, right? You can actually see what's happening. So overlay, you can see the Superdome in the background, but it's not that dominant. If I were to go something like darken, you can still see it. It's way too intense, right? So let me go. Should I go soft light or overlay? Let's do soft light, right? I can still see the blue. That's not what I want. So let me add a adjustment layer. Let's add hue saturation. Let's first of all clip it, right click, create clipping mask. So the saturation layer, you see this arrow here, is clipped to the Superdome stadium image. And all I'm going to be doing is just hit the saturation all the way down to 100. It should be black and white, but because of how faded it is, you're not really seeing it, right? If I were to go ahead and just go back up from soft light to normal, you see that our image is black and white. If I were to turn the saturation adjustment layer off, see that? It's black and white. So now I can go back and make it soft light, right? And I can turn it down. Can't really see much because I turn my monitor's brightness down, right? All right, so we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, so what I want to add next is, wait, Control and S to save all that we've been doing. Let me just zoom in. Let's hit his name, his last name here, Hertz. Let me hit the color over here. I'll get my color picker tool. Then let me just pick this green, right? Let me just pick this green. Cool. Let's just do that. Let's move the Super Bowl MVP up. Like, let's find the second one. That's the second one. Let's move that one up. One click. Let's move. I'm just using my up arrow on my keyboard with my move tool selected because I want to move it, right? My move tool is over here, or you can press V for your move tool. And let's do the second one. 1, 2, right? And then let me change the color of the third one first of all to white. The one at the bottom, let's change that one to white. Wait, why can't I see that? Or maybe not white, maybe a little grayish, right? And then the black one, let's keep the black one black. Let's make the second one like another shade of gray, right? Yeah. Let's do that, like that. Control and S to save all that we've been doing so far. All right, we're looking good. We're getting there. And hey, let me just add 2 more things. I have some paint splats, some 3D paint splash that I wanted to splash some color in here with. Let me find them. They're right here. Well, obviously they're red and I don't want them to be red. And I want it to be like in between, or let me size it down first and foremost. Control T, Command T. If you're on Mac, let me just hit my percentages to let it be sized down just a bit, right? Let me move it in between my Jalen images. Wait, let me organize these background stuff right here. Well, there's this other background image that I have here of the clouds. You know, it blends well with the Superdome, like so, like right here. All right, let me see what it looks like with my blending mode on. Overlay or soft light. Wait, let me just decrease the opacity. All right, cool. See this edge of this image here? Let me hit Control T. Oh wait, I can just move it over. And then let me just add a mask to the image, the cloud image, and brush away the hard edges like we normally do, right? Just brushing them away, and then let's move the clouds up so it looks a little bit dramatic, right? All right, cool. That looks good. That looks good. Let me just wait. Is it added to both of them? The saturation that we added to the stadium to make it black and white. I'm just gonna duplicate it, Control J, drag it down above the clouds, right click on it, create clipping mask, and now it's clipped to my clouds, so my clouds are now black and white, right? Control and S to save all that I just did. Let me pick the color here from the green jersey, the green kit. Wait, why is it not picking? Oh wait, sorry. Let me go again. Pick that color. So I have that green over here in my color picker, right? Now let me double click on this paint splat here, over here. And then what I'm gonna do is go to color overlay, make sure that green is there, right? And then I'm gonna set my blending mode. Well, it's already set to color, so you see it got changed to this green, right? By default, yours may be on normal. So if you see it like this, don't freak out. All you have to do is just change it to color, and then you can go ahead and click OK. Now I can move this in between my Jalen images. I want it like in between the first image and the second image, or just behind everything, like almost like that, right? Something like that. Something like that. Right? And then let me turn on the other one. Where am I gonna put this one? This is so cool. Control and T, Command T if you're on Mac. I'm just gonna size it down like so. All right, maybe I should have put this one behind them, because I like how this one like an S, right? So I'm gonna bring it down above this layer, the same green splash. Wait, let me put it in between them like so, right? And you see this right here that says color overlay. That's the effect that we added to change this one to green. Let me just hold Alt, Option if you're on Mac, and just drag it onto my second paint splat. No, both my paint splats are green, right? See, first one, second one here. Maybe I can turn this other one black. What do you guys think? Oops. What do you guys think? Should I keep both of them or just use one? I wanted to just add like a splash of life in between them here. What do you think? What do you guys think? Control and S to save all that we've been doing so far. Maybe I can put this one behind them both. Control and T, Command T if you're on Mac, and just like move it up some, right? Wait, let me move it down, and then, all right, let me change this, the hertz right here, the text, let me change that to gray instead of green, all right? So hit the green. Let's just find a nice gray here. Something that can complement the black, right? All right, so I've made that gray, which looks good to me. What I want to do next is I want to make the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl that's black, I'll make that green. So like so, color here, pick any one of these greens anywhere on here, just so we have like a little movement of the color, so it's not all just like black, that powerful black, right? Control and S to save. The second paint splash that I have, I want to see if I can make that, where is it? Where'd it go? Where did I put that thing? Wait, why can't I find the paint splashes? Where did I put it? Oh, wait, no. They should be outside of this group. They shouldn't be in the Jalen images group. Oh wait, they are inside. Wait, is that where they always were? All right, so Jalen images, let's Control G, paint splashes. Let's name this group Paint Splash. Paint Splash. And the smaller paint splash, let's make that like gray. So we're double clicking on this overlay right here. I'm just gonna make it like gray, right? So they're not both like green or anything. And then let's move this one on top. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. And all I want to do is maybe I should erase some of this larger image here, the bigger image, like some of this lower area right here. What do you guys think? Because there is some white right here from his pants that I don't want to see. All right, wait, I have an idea. The paint splash that's here, where is it? The big one here. I'm just gonna hold Control on my keyboard, Command if you're on Mac, and click on it. Then I'll get a selection of the outline of the shape, right? The paint splash. And I can erase what's outside of the selection. I do that by pressing M, right clicking, select the inverse of the selection. So you see before, it was only right here that's selected. When I selected the inverse, then everything outside, including the entire area of the project here, right? And when I do that, now I can use my eraser tool by pressing E and erase this area of the large image right here. But it's gonna be in the shape of the paint splash, right? So I just brush away this area right here that I don't want, right? All right, that's looking good if you ask me. I deselect it by hitting Control D, Command D if you're on Mac. And now we're getting somewhere. We're actually getting somewhere. What is this? Oh, it's the word Caesar Superdome on the image of a stadium. That's a little bit distracting. So let me find my stadium. Where is it? Let me drag it down. It's the word Superdome. Do I want that? I don't think I need that. It's a little bit distracting. So let me hit my eraser tool, go on the mask, and just like wipe out this Caesar Superdome here. Nobody will ever know. We're not going to tell them, right? And then this little paint that's hanging down, should I delete that or should I keep it on this second one? Because they're 3D paint splatters, so they have shadows. If you look right here, you can see one of the shadows. See that? Do I want to keep that? Let me add a mask and see what I can do. Add a mask, select the mask, hit my eraser tool, and let me see what I can do. That's fine. I don't need the mask. That's fine, right? That's fine. That's fine. I like that as it is, right? Super Bowl MVP. I wonder if I can make this white now. Yay. Look at that shadow was throwing me off. All right. We're getting somewhere. Control and S to save all that we just did. Let's move the NFL logo and the Eagles logo inside a bit, right? Let's just find them where they are. Let me close this group. Jalen images, paint splash. Let's create a group called background with all our background elements here. You know, the color. I didn't use the actual Eagles text. I didn't think I needed to use it. Let me move it down. Do I need it? Do I need it? Do I need it? You know the drill. Control T, right? Do I actually need it? I don't think so, but let's just, because we can, right? Because we can. Why not? I mean, why not? Or should I put it on top? Like so? No? What do you guys think? Do I need it? Do I don't need it? Do I not need it? What should I do? It's fine. It doesn't hurt. Let me move it up. Where is it? Move it up top. Choose all the background stuff. Control G to create a group. Let's call it background. Control and S to save all that we've been doing so far. Now let me close the text group or collapse it. Then the NFL logo and the Eagles logo, let's move them in, or let's move them in 10 clicks each. So like I'm pressing V for my move tool, holding shift, and then just going, using my arrow keys on my keyboard and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm very old fashioned like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's actually 20 clicks or 20 presses or whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Control and S to save all that we just did. This February and this New Orleans, they're a little bit too big for me. So let's make them, they're 6 pixels right now, 6 points. Let's make it 4. Yeah. 4. Yeah. Then let's save it. I mean, that looks like an MVP flyer to me. What do you guys think? I saved it to save all that we created so far. Now I'm gonna save it as a JPEG or PNG or whatever you need to post it on social media. So let me just go ahead, go file, save a copy. It's already Jalen Super Bowl MVP poster. It's called copy. You can remove the copy if you want. Come down to your save as type, hit JPEG, click save, select the maximum quality as always, and now you have your file ready to post. That's all we're going to be doing. We're not going to overdo it. And that's how we made our Super Bowl MVP poster for Super Bowl 59, Super Bowl 2025. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to see more of these design along with me tutorials, let me know in the comments below. And remember, hey, check out all the resources that we used here, these images, Envato. Shout out to Envato for sponsoring a portion of this video, and as well as getting Photoshop to design along with me. That's the most important part. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.